I always remember that early Milton Berle sort of maxim quote when he said, better to be a in a hit than a hit in And he's right. If the whole project is great, everybody benefits from it. But if they say, oh, Sam, you were fantastic in that. The show wasn't too good, and the other people, nobody's going to remember it.
That's
but if
right.
it's the whole, it's like Game of Thrones. Everybody benefits from Game of Thrones. It's a much-loved show. And people within it, you know, whatever reason or not, but they'll all benefit from it because they're all part of this event.
Right.
A bit like Deadwood, a bit like shows that, you know, like John Wick. Everybody comes off better. And it's very nice being part of something that you know. It's like the last 2 days. It's going to events. It's much nicer going to an event where you know it's sort of predetermined that people like it than, oh, the word's still out, whatever. It's like when we did a publicity for Hellboy about 6 weeks ago. And I thought, you know, what classically happened was, you know, everybody goes, it's tracking really well. You go, oh, marvelous, tracking, whatever that means, you know. And then suddenly it falls off the face. And you go, it suddenly disappeared. And you go, wow. And I felt bad. David Harbour, who was a wonderful actor to work with, I love David, and he was great in it. But they really had the knives out for him. It's interesting how they suddenly got the knives out for the Hellboy. And it had nothing to do with him or the film itself, because the guy who wrote the comic book, Mike Mignola, hated the sort of two films that had come before. He thought they weren't comic books. They were beautiful, but that's Guillermo del Toro's vision of it, much more metaphysical, another take on Hellboy. He wanted the slap bang, the comic book attached, in your face more, you know, slap bang, wallop, Hellboy, the story, grip, and that's what they tried to do. And of course, the critics...
It wasn't accepted.
No, they were like, oh, well, it's not that. And you go, well, they had the knives out for it. And David took the battering, which is unfair, an actor, because he's a fine, fine actor.
Yeah.
And I saw it, and it wasn't, you know, you go, what gave you such a hard-on about this movie? There's been many worse horror movies than this. But occasionally it happens. They'll pick on it. I remember another movie he did, Hot Rod, I made, which they suddenly gave these terrible reviews to. And of course, like 15 years later, it's a cult movie. Film I made it's a comedy with Andy Samberg and Akiva.
Right,
It's a very funny movie. It's wacky as hell about, you know, I play this stepdad who needs a new heart. And Andy does all these stunts to get a new heart for him because he wants to beat the out of it before he dies. It's a completely insane plot, but it's got great style to it. It's got a great 70s soundtrack, and it's and I saw it on a plane. And my son said to me, hey, Dad, you see, it's his favorite movie. I love them when people go, you know, when people in the street, when they accost you something, they go, Deadwood, I love Joy. But when they go,
Hot Rod,
you go, yeah. And you got, it's kind of some job out of the blue that nobody's ever heard, you think nobody's ever seen.
Well, I do think
that's nice.
As an actor, I do think that's an odd thing to have to sort of be a part of that discussion, like whether it made money or, because that's not your discussion. Your discussion is more about, did you come and do what you were?
But it's fascinating to talk afterwards about shows like Hellboy, because suddenly nobody wants to talk about it. They go, well, Hellboy. They go, what Hellboy? I say, oh, it went away. It's like sometimes when agents offer you a part and they mention something and you go, by the way, didn't you mention about 3 weeks? And they go, it went away. But all these phrases they have.
Yes.
Hilarious. It's like, no, it just went away.
Hey folks, thanks for watching. If you like what you just saw, then why not subscribe? Click right here for lots more off camera. And if you want to see the hour-long version of these conversations, I'm going to give you the secret link. Here it is, offcamera.com. Check it out.